We're sitting with Morgan Lytle this morning. It's the Friday before Morgan goes back to school to become a junior this year at Tucker High School, and it's the 1st of September. And we asked Morgan to come in as a part of the Living History of our Church series, in which we interviewed a number of people who are vital parts of our congregation, and we've asked Morgan to come in and sort of give us a view from perspective of having grown up in St. Andrews and some of the memories he has about that, and some of his observations and some of his thoughts about how we may be going in the future. So, Morgan, first of all, I guess I can ask you this. How old are you?
I'm 16 years old.
And you were born in Richmond, and your parents were already members of St. Andrews when you were born. Is that fairly accurate?
As far as I can remember, yeah.
In other words, this is the only church you ever remember going to?
Yep.
Okay. How early are your memories about church? Tell us about some of your first memories.
Well, you might not believe it, but I remember being in Miss Kathy's class, and I was pretty small then. But I don't know if I remember ever being in nursery. I think I do, because I remember they had those wheeled things that you'd ride around on. I'd always take them out in the hall. And I remember having the Easter egg hunt. That's about as far back as I can go.
What's the first Christmas at St. Andrews that you remember?
It was, I can't give you the exact year or anything like that, but I do remember before we had this new social hall behind us, we had the one upstairs, which was very low ceiling and very flat and wide, but I remember we had the Christmas tree there, and I remember Santa, and
who was Santa? Was it always Mr. Gherkin?
Yes, I remember it was Mr. Gherkin. It was usually played by 2 other people, but I didn't know it was Mr. Gherkin. Of course, I was like maybe 2 or 3, but I remember they had this fireplace, and then the Christmas tree, and then Santa's chair.
Yeah.
And he'd throw, what do you call them?
What did he throw?
Candies.
What kind of candies?
Tootsie Rolls.
Right.
I remember those.
That was his trademark, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Love Tootsie Rolls.
Yeah. And as you grew up in the church and in the Sunday school, who are some of the people you remember from your earliest times? You mentioned Miss Kathy. Who is that?
Miss Kathy is the teacher downstairs, and I remember having the other Miss Sarah, not Miss Sarah Moore, but Miss Massey.
Yeah.
I had her for one class, and then I had, I can't remember if it goes up. I know I had Mr. Steve and Miss Sarah.
Yeah.
Miss Sarah, then Mr. Steve. Mr. Steve's a really funny guy. He always gives us the SET word of the day. His favorite one is paradox. Makes something that seems like it has 2 sides to it.
Yeah. And do you remember Vacation Bible School at all?
Yes, I do. I do. I remember I used to be in Vacation Bible School, but now I help with Vacation Bible School. I haven't for the past couple of years, if I say. Been gone. Yeah. Vacation or across seas and stuff like that. I remember when I was in it, and I remember arts and crafts.
What kind of stuff did you guys make?
We made bookmarks. We wrote bookmarks. I remember snack time. That was my favorite time. We had this, what was it? It was toast, and they made the butter a different color. I think I had green. But yeah, I remember that. It was pretty fun. those dates are the same, so we won't do it.
Growing up in this church, what are some of your lasting memories of things that happened? Just talk about different things that you remember. It doesn't matter what order you put them in.
Well, I'll always remember having Easter egg hunts and definitely hanging of the greens. That's just a really memorable thing at this church. I remember having some picnics outside and a service back in the woods. I remember that. I remember before we got the playground. Let's see. And definitely before we got this beautiful sanctuary back now. Social hall, the big one. We didn't have that when I was little here. So I've seen this church through a lot of change. I remember a lot of the cantatas because my dad did them, so I had to always come. And when you're little, you don't like sitting through things for 2 hours. So I definitely remember that. Yeah, a lot of stuff that I can't bring to mind right now, but it's good memories.
I remember last year during our stewardship campaign, you volunteered, or I guess you volunteered anyway. You did a little segment for that stewardship campaign where you stood up on Sunday morning and talked about what the church has meant to you over the years. And that was a really impressive thing to me. I've watched you as you've grown just in the time that I've been here, and some of the ways you've grown in your faith. Talk a little bit about the youth group and what that's meant to you.
Well, the youth has always been a really big part of me at this church. I mean, I've gone through two youth leaders. First one was Jason. He was an excellent youth leader. Well, I only had him for about 2 years, but we miss him, and he still comes around sometimes. But I mean, I'm probably taller than him now, but that was a very moving year, and definitely this Christine's time here. I mean, we've gone on a lot of mission trips and youth retreats, and a lot of this stuff has been very moving. Like for this last one, I mean, building houses for people to stay in, and I still have the souvenir.
Yeah. Black
phone now, but yeah, some people, God definitely worked through people on that trip. You could just see him everywhere. I mean, we saw him through Andy when it wasn't really a speech, it was like I don't know, it was just indescribable, just magnificent. But you could see people helping each other out when we were building houses. It was just very moving and powerful.
I get the impression that in watching you guys, that you guys feel closer to each other in our youth group than you do to a lot of other folks that you're, like a lot of folks you're in school with, for example. That there's a real closeness there, and that closeness has been created by those kinds of things that you're talking about.
Definitely, because I mean, we grew up with these people. I mean, I've grown up with these people over time, not all of them, but Andy, I grew up with. He's the first, he's so-called, it's the first Jason era. Me and him are the last two people from that since Laura has left. And that is very sad indeed, but, yeah. I've enjoyed it, and, I don't know,
Are you, who's this year's president of UMIF? Are you?
I'm the chairman, you mean?
Yeah.
Yes, I am.
Okay.
But it hasn't really been keeping up with that, because,
well, the year hadn't really started yet.
But, yes, I am the chairman because everybody thinks that I'm good leadership skills. I probably should get better leadership skills. But we just have a very bright youth group, I think. Everybody knows each other and they love each other, and they've all gone through something. They find their relationships together.
Yeah.
Like Lucas can be annoying at times, but Andy, I remember when at the mission trip and Andy's cousin was dying in the hospital, and Lucas asked Andy if he was feeling all right, and Andy said that he could feel genuine concern in his voice for him, and that just moved Andy so much, because Lucas usually acts immature sometimes, but he really felt that genuine concern for Andy.
Of course, Lucas is 1 year or 2 years younger than you and Andy.
He's 2 years.
Yeah. So he's beginning. I mean, that's the process that starts.
Yeah. He's definitely starting to move up there.
Yeah. This is a real personal question, and you don't have to answer it if you don't want to. But can you think of an instance where you really felt close to God, and that sort of moved you from one place to another?
I definitely felt that God moved me on the last mission trip we went on, because it was just so incredible. I mean, Andy touched all of our hearts with it, and God was using him, and we all knew it. His words were just beautifully woven together. Past mission trips have been real moving. Can't remember all the details, but some retreats have been real moving. But I have to say this last mission trip has been the most moving and brought change in all of us.
As you look at the future, you've got 2 more years in high school at this point, and 2 more years in the youth group here, and then you see younger folks coming in, and there'll be a whole group of younger folks coming in now.
Yeah.
Tell me how you view the future of St. Andrew's Church.
Well, I think that the future is going to be good, but I think that since our youth group is basically broken up into about 2 sections. There's all the high school kids that will be leaving pretty soon, and it's going to be Bradley, me, Andy, just a whole bunch of them. And that's a really strong foundation of our youth group, and it'll be all younger kids. But I mean, if we want to keep the youth group going, we need to get more kids, and I know you've been trying to do that, and that's going to be a vital key to keeping the youth group going and the church going, because we need young people to join and keep this thing going.
One of the things that has impressed me as I've talked with you and with a number of other members of our youth group is the fact that it seems to me that the church is a really important part of your lives. It's not just something that your parents make you participate in, but it really has become something that you take ownership of, and you're excited about moving your part of that ministry along and improving it and widening it in any way we can do that. And that's a really neat thing, because I'm sure you know people who say the only reason I go to church is because my parents won't get off my back.
Oh yeah.
And I don't get that impression with you guys.
Well,
I really don't.
The reason they say that is because they go to church willingly, but they don't like their parents to force them to do stuff. I guess because they want to grow up faster. But I mean, when I was little, I didn't really really want to come to church because I'd be so tired if I didn't like waking up early. Because I think when I was little, we'd go to early church, and I didn't like that. I remember I just couldn't sit still. I mean, I never can really sit still. I mean, I feel like it's jumping up right now, but I remember I used to go down when we got the new. I'd just go out and sit in the hall and just wait for my parents to come out. But at some point in time, I remember that I just started liking church, and especially when you got here, Al. I mean,
Oh, thank you.
definitely, the church has been like a new flame has been lit in it, you know, since you've been here. I mean,
Don't worry, I'll pay you later for saying that.
no, but I really mean it. I mean, my mom says that this is like one of the best things that has happened to this church is Al. And I mean, I can only remember Keith really being the pastor, but I mean, when he was getting ready to leave, that's when I started getting into church and wanting to come.
Well, I know that you guys, you and even Joanna, even though she's 2 years younger than you are, and the whole class that Joanna's in, have really made this place a very welcoming place for me. And you've shown me time and time again, you've lived out your faith. I mean, I watch you guys, and I watch you guys go on these mission trips, and you're anxious and eager to do it. It's not just something you do because there's nothing else to do. And you come back, and it's like neat things have happened. And you've really felt the presence of the Lord. You've really grown closer to Him and to each other as a result of that.
Well, it's also something always happens on a mission trip. I mean, somebody's always going to get hurt. Somebody's always going to...
Why don't you hold that sign up real good so the camera can really see it?
I've had this for around 4.5 weeks now, so... But anyways, I mean, a lot of people just love going there and meeting people. I mean, Kelsey, we call her the social butterfly, because she is definitely not afraid to go to any group, no matter who they are or what they dress like or what they say. She'll just go up and say hi and introduce herself. And that she's definitely gotten other members of the youth group to really come outside their safety box or safety bubble. But and Joanna has helped with that too. I mean, most of the girls who are not afraid, but.
You know, I've noticed that even here at St. Andrews about the way that and it's not just the girls, it's you guys too. You don't have any barriers as far as going up to talk to any member of the congregation. I mean, I've seen you talk to Helen Thomas, for example, or to a number of other people, and you know, it's just that bridge that you guys create, because I think you really feel like you are every bit as much a part of this congregation as they are, and together you really have something in common. And in many instances, we see where kids just sort of stay off to the side. They get treated like the old out of sight, out of mind stuff, you know, and that's not the case here. You guys fit right in whatever is happening, and just go with it.
Yeah. Last year, Christine definitely laid down that the youth needs to be seen in this church. We need to be more outgoing, and we need to do more things that are involved with the church. So we've done that, and just now that we're like joined into the congregation, we're just our separate group, like the kids and congregation.
And then as these younger kids are coming along, you can just teach them naturally to become a part of that.
You can set an example for them to do the same thing, and they hopefully they will.
So far as the long-range future, is it fair to ask you what your plans are?
Ooh, I don't know. I'm just trying to play the game of life right now as the cards get thrown at me, and hopefully I can make a good play with them. I see in the long-range future, I don't know what I'm going to do right now, but, I mean, I have a lot of good fields that I'm in, but I see the church in the far future being pretty good. I mean, if the youth continues to hold together and be strong as it is right now, then it'll definitely be a good church. If they can bring more younger people in at like a picnic or this Fall American thing we're going to have. Like, I mean, I remember the day I went the day Christine handed out those flags. I went and put them up all over my neighborhood and put them in mailboxes, and then the next day they all got laid down and blown away. But I think it was worth it. So,
yeah, but there were one of them that folks got too. They got that day, and the main thing was getting them out there and people seeing them. And you guys did that.
yeah.
Any words of wisdom you want to give us before we end?
Never been good at words of wisdom. Although we do have them every day in Tucker. Always be ready to take on a challenge, because it is the more you're ready to take on a challenge or a certain thing, you'll be more ready to take the challenge of life.
Amen. You'll continue to grow that way. Thank you.
That's the wrap.
You gotta
Great
have
job.
pre and post